Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video we are going to continue questions related to chemical properties of metals. So chemical properties of metals we have already discussed in the previous video. I have shared the link in the description. If you have not seen the video, you can check out that video, and after that you can continue with the question. So let's start with the first question. The first question is why sodium is immersed in kerosene oil. So this we have already discussed. Sodium and potassium also, you can remember that these are highly reactive metals, and when they react with oxygen and water, they react vigorously. We can say that reaction is violent, which catches fire. So due to this reason it is kept in kerosene. So why kerosene? Because kerosene, it forms a layer on the surface of metal. So that layer, it prevents the contact of metal with air or water. Since there is no contact now, no contact of metal with air and water, so this reaction will not take place. So due to this reason, these metals, they are always kept, or they are always immersed in kerosene. Now let's do the next question. The second question is write the reactions of iron with steam and calcium and potassium with water. So steam, it is also water. As we have discussed in chemical properties that iron, it only reacts with steam, it won't react with cold water. So that's why we have to do its reaction with steam. So let's do it. Iron plus water. So in general chemical equations we have done that metals, if they are insoluble in water, they will give us metal oxide on reaction with water. So which means we will get iron oxide plus hydrogen gas. So which means you just have to remember the chemical properties of metals. If you know the chemical properties, then you can easily do any chemical reaction. Now let's balance the equation. So iron 3 here, so 3 I have written this side, oxygen 4, so let's write 4 over here. So 4 atoms of oxygen here, and on other side also 4 atoms. Hydrogen, 4 into 2, 8. So 4 plus 2, 6 are there, so we'll multiply it with 2. So it will be 2 into 2, 4, and wait, it is 8. So we'll multiply with 4. So 8 atoms of hydrogen on both the sides. So this is chemical reaction of iron with steam. You can mention this iron, it is in solid state. Water, because we are doing the reaction with steam, so this is gaseous state. So you don't have to write L. Don't write L because this is not liquid, this is gaseous state, this is aqueous state, and this is again gaseous state. So being insoluble in water, iron, it will give us iron oxide. Now the next reaction is calcium and potassium with water. And we have already done that calcium and potassium, they are soluble in water, and those metals which are soluble in water, they will give us metal hydroxides. So they won't give us metal oxide, but they will give metal hydroxides. So it is calcium, so we'll write calcium, it is solid, it reacts with water which is liquid, because all these metals, they can react with cold water. Sodium, potassium, calcium, they can react with cold water. So water is in liquid state now. Then now on reaction of calcium with water, we will get calcium hydroxide plus hydrogen gas. So metals which are insoluble in water, they give us metal oxide on reaction with water, but the oxide which are soluble in water, calcium metal which are soluble in water, this calcium, it is soluble in water, so that's why we have got calcium hydroxide. So now we can balance the equation. You can see calcium 1 this side, 1 atom this side. So here it's in gaseous state. Hydrogen 2 this side, hydrogen here you can see it is 2 plus 2 4. So let's multiply it with 2. So 4 atoms of hydrogen this side and 4. 2 plus 2 4 this side. Oxygen 2, here also oxygen 2 atoms, because this number it will get multiplied with both of the elements. So with hydrogen also and with oxygen also. Now let's do the next chemical reaction, potassium with water. So potassium, it is soluble in water, which means again we will get potassium hydroxide. So let's do it. Potassium symbol is K, which is in solid state, plus with water we have to do the reaction which is in liquid state. Then potassium hydroxide plus hydrogen gas. Hydroxide, this is in aqueous state. Here also you have to mention this was also in aqueous state. So now we can balance the chemical equation. You can say potassium 1 this side also 1 atom, hydrogen 2 plus 1 3. So let's make it 4. So hydrogen 4, so 2 plus 2 4. Oxygen 2. So the equation is balanced. Now you have to mention the names also. So this is potassium, water, potassium hydroxide and hydrogen. So states also we have to mention everything properly, you have to mention. Now let's do the next question. So the next question, this data is given to you and you have to answer these questions. So 4 metals are given to you and the names of these metals are A, B, C and D. Then metal salts are given to you and it's given that metal A, if you are doing reaction of metal A with iron sulfate, so no reaction is possible or no reaction is taking place. So NR, no reaction, I have written in short. Then if you are reacting metal A with copper sulfate, displacement reaction is taking place. So they have not mentioned anything here. So for metal B, if they are doing the reaction of metal B with iron sulfate, displacement reaction takes place. Here they have not mentioned anything. C metal with iron sulfate, no reaction is possible. With all of these 4 metal salts, no reaction is possible at all for C metal. And D, if we take, again same thing, no reaction is possible. So D, here displacement reaction they have given. So displacement reaction is there. So C metal, it gives displacement reaction with silver nitrate, and D, it is not giving any reaction with any of these 4 metal salts. So whenever you are doing such questions in which displacement reaction is there, first of all just write the reactivity series. So reactivity series, same way we will write the way I have explained you, and I have already given you one mnemonic to write the reactivity series, so that here I will write it down. So King Nathan can make arts of zoo and forest passionately. Hungry people can have apple and almonds. So this is how I have explained you. You can write the reactivity series. See, now after seeing the reactivity series, as we go down, reactivity decreases. Reactivity of metal decreases. If potassium is the highly reactive, if you go down, gold is the least reactive. Lead, it is less reactive than iron and it is more reactive than hydrogen. So this way you have to see. You just have to compare this data with the reactivity series. 4 metals are there, A, B and C, D. If you see metal A with copper sulfate, it is doing displacement reaction. So it is suggesting us that metal A, it is more reactive than copper. So metal A somewhere here, it's more reactive than copper. So it is reactive than copper. Metal B, it is performing displacement reaction with iron sulfate, which means if displacement reaction is possible with iron sulfate, which means metal B, it is more reactive than iron. iron you can see here. And if with iron it is possible for metal B to do the displacement reaction, which means metal B, it is more reactive than metal A also, because metal A, this reaction is not possible with iron. Now metal C with silver, it is doing displacement reaction, so it is more reactive than silver. Metal C, it is more reactive than silver. Metal D, it is the least reactive metal, because you can see it is not able to do displacement reaction with any of these given salts. So which is the first question? Now let's try to answer the first question, which is the most reactive metal? So it's very simple now. Metal B, it is more reactive than iron. And which is at top? If metal B is more reactive than iron, which means it is more reactive than metal A also. So here you can mention iron, metal B, sorry, because only the names of the metals A, B, C, D are given to you. You just have to answer the questions in this form. So metal B, it is the most reactive metal from the given metals. Why? Because it is able to displace iron. Remaining metals, they are not able to displace any of these, because A, it can only displace copper, and C, it can only displace silver. D is not able to displace anything. So which means B is the most reactive metal among the given. What would you observe if B is added to copper sulfate? If B is added to this, so what will you observe? See, B, it is more reactive than iron. So if you add in copper sulfate also, it will be able to perform displacement reaction. So you can mention if the reaction of metal B is done with copper sulfate, displacement reaction will take place, because B is more reactive than copper. Then arrange the given metals A, B, C, D in decreasing reactivity. So we have found that B is the most reactive. After B, so you can see here we have written C, it is more reactive than silver, and A, it is more reactive than copper. So A comes here somewhere between iron, lead, hydrogen, copper. So which means after B, A will come, because it is able to displace copper from copper sulfate. Then C, because still it is able to perform displacement reaction with silver. And then at last D, because in order of decreasing reactivity we have to write, so B, A, C and D. So always whenever you are doing any questions related to displacement reaction, just write the reactivity series and then try to answer the questions. Now let's do the next question. So the next question is, which gas is produced when dilute HCl is added to a reactive metal, and write the chemical reaction when iron reacts with dilute sulfuric acid. So basically the question is asking us when metals are reacting with acids, so it is related to that reaction. So first of all, let's write the general chemical reaction. So if we know the general chemical reaction, then we will be able to write both of the question. Two parts are there. So if we add reactive metal with acid, we'll get, so in chemical properties also we have already discussed metal, so only reactive metal and plus acid, it will give us metal salt plus hydrogen gas. So from here, if you know this thing, from here you can answer both the parts. So first of all, they are asking which gas is produced when dilute HCl is added to reactive metal. So you can see hydrogen gas is produced. So whenever hydrochloric acid it reacts with reactive metal, hydrogen gas will be produced. Now you have to write the chemical reaction of iron. So let's write it down. With dilute sulfuric acid. So from journal equation, we'll see, we will get metal salt. So metal is iron, salt is sulfate. So iron sulfate will get plus hydrogen. You can balance this chemical equation and Just try to balance it yourself, because we have already done balancing of chemical equations. The reaction is very simple. If you know the chemical properties of metals, then easily you can answer all the related questions. Now let's do the next question. So the next question is, what would you observe when zinc is added to a solution of iron sulfate? Write the chemical reaction that takes place. So they are telling, when we add zinc with iron sulfate, what will happen? So this type of question, again you should know, you have to see in the reactivity series. So this is something in chemical properties we have discussed, reaction of metal A with salt of metal B. Here you can see metal A is zinc and metal B is iron. So we have to see whether this reaction will take place or not. So let's write the reactivity series. So same way you can write the reactivity series. So you need only zinc and iron. So till iron we will do. Okay. So from here, if you see the reactivity series, you can see zinc is above iron. So which means zinc is more reactive than iron. So if any metal, if metal A is more reactive than metal B, then this reaction will take place. So you will get salt of metal A, which is zinc sulfate plus metal B. So you can see if the equation is balanced, it's fine. If it's not balanced, just balance it. So this type of questions, always just try to compare it with the reactivity series and then attempt the question. Now let's do the next question. Last question is, what are amphoteric oxides? So amphoteric oxides we have already discussed in chemical properties. So metal oxides or oxides of metals which can show both acidic and basic character. Metal oxides which shows both acidic and basic character. Because generally we know metal oxides, they only show basic character, but amphoteric oxides, they can show both acidic and basic character. So examples you can do, oxides of zinc and oxides of aluminium. So examples are oxide of zinc and oxide of aluminium. Zinc oxide and aluminium oxide, both are amphoteric oxides, as they can show basic character also and acidic character also. So this was all about the questions related to chemical properties of metals, and in the next video I will continue the reaction of metals with non-metals. I hope you liked the video and understood the concept. Thank you so much for watching the video. Do like, do subscribe. See you in my next one.